What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Poobah's Atelier. In this video, I'm going to talk about my process when it comes to making comic strips for my series Kids by Poobah. Since I started this series back in July of 2024, my process has remained largely the same with a couple changes here and now. I always begin in my notes app because that's where I keep all of my ideas for future comic strips, as you can see right here. I'm the kind of person that tries to be as organized as possible, so I have my ideas broken down and placed into specific sections, like school, winter theme ideas, etc. Coming up with ideas is pretty simple for me because I can find inspiration from pretty much anything, to be completely honest. The difficult part is actually drawing out each panel, but I'll get back to that later. Once I get a general idea of what I want the comic strip to be about, I start writing down which characters I want to appear in it, as well as the dialogue and specific actions that I want to convey in the drawing. Based on how much I write down for a specific idea, that's what helps me decide on if I'm going to use a regular 4-panel setup like the one you see here, or if I'm going to use something different. Quick side note, but I'd really like to get into using more creative panel setups in the future, especially for my more elaborate comic strips. Something similar to the Calvin and Hobbes Sunday pages, if you ever seen some of them. But sometimes as I'm working on a comic strip, I'll change things as I'm working on it, and this specific one is a good example of that because midway through working on it, I changed up the dialogue. Now, in my opinion, and this may just be the animator in me talking, but I always compare making comic strips to making storyboards for animation. It's essentially the same thing in my eyes because you're focusing on the placement of however many characters are in a certain panel, the angle of the camera, and where to place the speech bubble. Basically, you have to focus on shot composition, which is why I feel like the process of drawing each panel is the hardest part of making a comic strip. But anyways, going back to the video, recently I started sketching out the drawings on another layer at a lower opacity. I also started using another brush in Procreate around December of last year compared to what I've been using for the large majority of my series. These two things have really helped me with reducing the amount of time I spend drawing my comics. Once the sketch is done, I go to another layer and add the line art and fill in the spaces that are going to be black, like the hair, pants, etc. Lastly, I add in my other colors on a layer below my line art layer, and after that I'm basically done. If you made it this far into the video, I hope this was a decent explanation into how my brain works when I'm making comic strips. Like I said earlier, I really want to get into using more creative panel setups in my series, but I also want to get into world building with my series, like adding storylines that span across multiple comics instead of having everything either be a running gag or just a one-off thing. I think that adds something special to my series, and I really look forward to implementing that into Kids by Poobah. I'll make a video in the future talking about my specific inspirations for making this series in general, so if you're looking forward to something like that, stay tuned. With that being said, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.